Hi, my name is Tex, and I'm here to talk about something super fun and interesting. Job interviews. I think everyone has had or remember their first job interview, or even are preparing for your first job interview. I mean, it's a whole process. It's where you put your whole life into one single page, and you start thinking about, is this cringy or is it not? I don't know. It's from high school. Should I put it on or should I not? I don't know. Do I research common questions or uncommon questions? What's my future boss's Instagram? Why is she eating it there? I don't know. So there's this whole fun process of finding a job. I know when I was first looking for a job in the US, which happens to be this job, I did pretty well, I think. Had fun during it. I took off my shirt, stripped in front of the interview, but miraculously, I did get hired. And it just so happens that working in a university, I found students have the most trouble answering the following question. What are your hobbies or interests? Students are so driven by academic competition and quantitative metrics of success that they simply don't have time to play. Especially, in finals, it's a bit worse. But I want to ask you, the audience, when was the last time you got to play? I think in life, not everything has to have instrumental value. Life may seem like you're playing a video game on the most difficult setting, but that doesn't mean you can't have fun playing it. Play has intrinsic value that we simply can't ignore. So, how do we find time to play? How do we see the value of play? Let me go off on a little tangent. I like Legos. Legos are pretty much an engineering marvel. They have amazing precision tolerances. They come in all different colors and sizes. And, the Lego actually means legot in Danish for play well. More importantly, Lego made a movie 10 years ago where the baddie, President Business, tries to freeze the Lego world using super glue. So he wants to keep everything pristine, where no mistakes ever happen, and everything's perfect. However, with the help of the protagonist, his real-life son, he realizes that it's not the end result that matters. It's a process of creatively building things, mixing things, trying new things, and building over and over, which is more important. So he unglues his Lego sets, and then has fun. In real life, there are some people who believe a Lego set should be built once, following instructions to show your immense process in building pieces together and having perfect, fixed structures. They have a fixed mindset where they believe that everything has to be perfect, where everything has to be pristine, where nothing can go wrong, and everything's fine. Don't worry about it. Nothing's on fire. However, I think we need to unglue that mind, start breaking the mold. Try new ideas, mix it up, and think outside the box. We need something called the growth mindset, where we process, we develop new ideas, and we believe that our minds, our innate talents, can always be growing. We have no limits. It can constantly be developed. We should be celebrating our gaps of knowledge and break our limits with the simple application of play. I think play comes naturally to everyone. Even in nature, animals play all the time. It's a very good survival instinct, and through play, they know how to survive. Humans can do much better than that. Play invigorates us, it motivates us, it lets us expand our minds and try new things and develop. I try to play every day, especially at work. And just so happens that I get to play with lasers at work. One, two, three. You see, what I also do at work is I provide opportunities to play. So this is a study break session over at the dentist library. By providing not just in a makerspace, but anywhere on campus, a play space, a fun space, it allows students to relax during finals. It allows them to have fun. Well, it just so happens my job title is the Program Coordinator for Technology and Play. The technology and play part, that's the gimmick, that really lets me get away with a lot of stuff. So this is one of the workshops we did last year, where you can 3D scan your head using a machine that costs more than my yearly salary. And once you get that 3D scan head of yours, what do you do with it? You apply yourself. You let the students really try new things by 3D printing stress balls of their brains or their heads. We can also digitize your MRI scans for free and, make a stress ball. Why didn't you do your homework? By having this kind of fun, engaging, impromptu, almost anytime environment, we allow students to have play, which is quite similar to a karaoke room, I found. So a karaoke room and a makerspace are quite similar. But let me elaborate. So in order to have a really good night at karaoke, you need the following elements. One, a person who's a really good singer. One who knows the weirdest songs. And one who knows they can't really sing that well, but owns it and also chooses the best finishing song. One who snuck in the drinks. One who convinces the person in the counter to give us more time, and one who slaps that tambourine like it's their job. By having this open and fun environment, we don't care if we get 100 points on every song. We don't care if a K-pop agency just bursts in the door and tries to sign us up to my new boy band. What we care is that we just want to sing. We want to try the new Joji song. We want to just have fun, where anyone and everyone can sing. So a makerspace is similar when I want to provide those opportunities at work. And I do that through the playful principles. 3 principles in my life I apply to work: radical inclusion, radical self-expression, and radical self-reliance. These 3 principles are what I base my philosophy at work. The first one, radical inclusion, is where you have no prerequisites for this community, for this environment, where anyone can join in on the fun. One of the most successful programs I've been running regularly, and watch out, it's going to be tomorrow, is where we make our own tote bags using graphics that we make our own. Ta-da! But the problem is, what if you're not a designer? What if you're not even familiar with the difference between raster or vector graphics? What if Microsoft Paint scares you? If you're not, let's say, a designer, you can always use AI, just like my slides. Or you could have a picture of your dog. Yeah. Bring your pictures of your dog tomorrow. By doing this environment of where anyone can play, where anyone can have fun without any prerequisites, that allows radical inclusion to happen. And that allows you to express yourself to the fullest, which brings you to the second principle, radical self-expression. I have a lot of hobbies. One of them is woodworking. But the problem is, once you make 100 or so wooden cutting boards, these charcuterie boards, and your friends are like, please, you have 2, we don't need any more. You start to think like, fine, what can I do? I don't know. What can I try next? What's really big? Or, I don't know, what's really cool and fun? This is my cutting board. Get it? That's Adam, catch. By fully expressing yourself, by being truly honest, by being maybe not pragmatic or even logical, you can have fun being who you are, by being the truest self. A makerspace allows for this by having the resources and both machine-wise and personnel that allow you to achieve this kind of really fun self-expression. Which leads to radical self-reliance is basically where you have the resources and knowledge and skills to be self-reliant. But in order to do that, it's not an easy journey. You need to constantly develop yourself. You need to really motivate yourself. You need to always improve yourself, which is why the next machine shows you how you can do that. I'm kidding. It's actually a 3D printer. A 3D printer is very similar to a microwave. There are both magical machines where a 3D printer, a microwave, for example, cooks thousands of dishes. You've probably seen it on TikTok. They get really wild with recipes. But a 3D printer is the same. You learn this one machine, this one technology. It allows you to create anything from an electric skateboard cover all the way to a Lego that just happens to be a little bit bigger than normal. Because 3D printers have something called iterative design. You start with a design concept, you analyze it, you figure out what do I need, what can I do? You find the right ring size. You prototype it in the material you need over and over until you reach the final design. Then you refine that process, and finally you get a result. This is the same as what you should apply yourself. You should always try to be the better version of yourself. Always improve by putting your best foot forward. Always try to be the best person. You could give 100%, but you always can give more. It doesn't matter what speed you go to, as long as you constantly can apply yourself. So these three playful principles is what openness, motivation, and confidence is required for you to have a playful environment. You don't need to have a playful environment like a makerspace. This can be done all on your own in any space you want. Now, there is a secret principle: immediacy. So when I was doing my job interview for this job, the interviewee asked, hey, so what are your hobbies and interests? It just so happens that I like making knockoff design shirts. And well, I was wearing one at that day. So I figured I'm gonna show you it by stripping during the interview. Thank you for coming to my Tex Talk.